Foreign Exchange is turning 12 years old this month, and that's quite an accomplishment that we're very proud of. And one of the questions I get asked a lot is, what has changed over these past 12 years? And it's interesting to think back. It's been quite a ride, and a lot of pretty big things have happened over those 12 years. I think they fall largely into four categories. First on that list would have to be regulations. International regulations have been a big driver in our clients' businesses and subsequently in ours. The second big factor that has influenced our business and again our clients has been technology, and that doesn't come as a surprise to anybody who's used the internet. We've seen some pretty big changes there. I'll talk more about each of these in a little bit. The third big item has been globalization, and not just globalization at large, but for our clients' businesses in the drug and device space very specifically. And the fourth item, really game changer, has been measurable translation quality. These factors have combined to really fundamentally change our business in the medical translation space. Talking a little bit more about each of those four items now. Regulation, it's funny, I remember one person asking me, well, what's the secret to foreign exchange's success in the medical translation space? And we talked a little bit about that, and as I was sort of describing our business, that person said, oh yeah, I get it. You influence regulators to come up with new laws and directives and regulations, and then you fulfill the service on the back end. And it isn't quite that, but that could easily describe a business model. What has been the bane of many of our clients' business existence has been a big driver of their need for translation services. The MDD, the IVDD, in Asia now, there's a version of that coming up. PAL in Japan, and it's not just limited to medical devices. On the pharma side in Japan, certainly as well. In Europe, the drive towards PIM. There are fundamental changes that are caused by each and every one of these new regulations that filter through, have a direct impact on translation services and thus on our business. We've been lucky to be intimately involved in many of these changes and have been able to provide our clients with advice and assistance and ultimately quality translation services in support of all of those regulations. So a big driver, a big factor of what has happened over the past 12 years. The second item that I mentioned has been technology. And again, I remember starting out foreign exchange 12 years ago, very limited infrastructure on the intranet, certainly. Our first web page was a very modest affair. Since then, two things have really driven our clients' awareness and our support that we give to our clients. The first is work around linguistic assets. Things like translation memories, databases that store translated text that can then be reused, leveraged, quote unquote, for future translation work, have become a de facto standard, an expected support that translation companies are supposed to give to clients. Similarly, terminology glossaries are very important these days as our clients go global, go international, take their products into ever increasing number of markets. Consistent terminology, managing their brands consistently around the world has become a huge important item for them. We've developed over those 12 years technology that really does this in an optimized fashion for drug and device companies. And it's a combination of off-the-shelf, best-of-breed software, as well as tools that we've developed here internally at Foreign Exchange. The second item, beyond linguistic assets, is machine translation. Many of us have used things like Google Translate or Babelfish or things of that nature. There have been some pretty significant advances in that space. While there have been big advances, it's still not quite there yet for a lot of business applications, let alone regulations-driven applications like in the pharma and medical device space. But it's definitely knocking, and we're seeing some big progress being made with machine translation. The third item that I mentioned before is the globalization of our clients' businesses. Teams on the client side are working globally. It is a regular occurrence that we interface with client teams that consist of people in North America, working with team members in Europe, that also have team members in Asia. And they're all working together on one team, and we interface with all of them. Similarly, we have clients in Europe. We have clients in Asia. We have clients around the world in New Zealand, as far away as New Zealand. Those clients require a number of different things. They require local support, which we're able to give and provide today that we weren't able to do 12 years ago. They require an internet, a technology-based infrastructure, which we provide through our FX Tracker workflow application. And that kind of support geared towards, again, the regulations-driven business of our pharma and medical device clients is really unique to foreign exchange. Fourth item that I mentioned that has happened over the past 12 years has been measurable quality. And that is still kind of unfolding. It's a relatively new item. Has always been very important, certainly for our clients. But for too long, translation service providers have talked about, yeah, we do good quality, of course, and good quality has usually meant additional sets of eyes looking at a translated text. But in reality, that hasn't resulted in measurably improved quality. It simply has resulted in more cumbersome processes, longer turnaround times, and higher costs. There are a number of translation quality systems out there geared specifically towards translation. One of the things that I'm really excited about is ForeignExchange's metric quality methodology. ForeignExchange is the only translation company out there that's able to provide clients with measurable, known, repeatable translation quality. And we do that through metric. It's not just a tool, it's an entire methodology that lives within our multilingual compliance process, which in turn supports and is compliant with a number of international standards that we support. ISO 9001, EN 15038, and several others as well. We're really excited about this. Our clients have been able to realize savings of up to 23% in turnaround times and cost savings through the use of metric. So it's when I say game changer, it really is that has having a fundamental bottom line impact on our clients' business. And it's been a fun ride over the past 12 years, and we'll see what the next 12 years hold.